So we are day 2 of week 6 already. Flies by, doesn't it? Legs and butt of your dreams. Do you have the legs and butt of your dreams yet? As it happened, I see the goodie posing there. You must do, Catherine. But we're on our way there, aren't we? How are you getting on with your 4 daily commitments? You're on the way there, Catherine. Yeah, how are you getting on, everyone, with your 4 daily commitments? Body brushing, I find that so hard to remember. I put the brush right next to my shower. Oh, Babs has got it there. And I'm still just like looking straight past it and not even noticing it. So I'm doing all of the other 3 commitments, but the body brushing, it just need to do that one. So for the next 4 days, I'm going to definitely do that. But how are you getting on with the rest of them? Did you all do some exercises yesterday? I went to the gym. Goody didn't. Babs did. I went to the gym yesterday, which was really nice, and did some banding in the gym, because often I feel a little bit self-conscious doing my own thing and having people look at me because it's a bit different to what everybody else is doing. Oh, hi Sarah, put the camera on. But I didn't yesterday. I was just like, right, I'm going to do some banding. It feels really good. So I did some Franklin method banding, and I put my ankle weights on, and I just did my own thing. Went on the treadmill for a bit, and yeah, it felt really nice. I had someone come up to me and ask, were you a dancer? Are you a dancer? But yeah, that was kind of quite fun. Oh, Babs, well, actually, I bought a bikini today that shows more of my butt. First time out. Brilliant. I want to see a photo of that, Babs. Oh, good for you. That's so amazing. And Babs, are you 70? Have you had your 70th? 71. Oh, I know, Goody. I know. Look at her. I know. Yeah, you look 50, Goody's saying. Look the same age as me, Goody's saying. I think that's what you're saying. I know, you look amazing, Babs. You're amazing. Right, shall we do some exercises? So we need some ankle weights. Well, you don't need them. I'm using ankle weights. If you don't have an injury and you have ankle weights, use them. Kaylee, if you're watching the replay, probably don't use ankle weights. Anyone else? Alex, perhaps don't use ankle weights. Anyone that's got any kind of issues, if you're not 100%, don't use them. What else do you need? Franklin balls. I don't think we'll use the band. Just Franklin balls and your weights. Is there anything else that I need to know? Anyone not get on well after Monday's session? Any problems at all? Let me just read these comments. So, still not brave enough for bikinis since kids. Oh, I think this summer, Catherine. You look fab. I know somebody that makes bikinis that lives in North Devon. So if you really wanted a bikini and you just want to kind of cover certain bits or have it a bit longer here or a bit shorter there, they're not the cheapest things, but it's, if you wanted to have some swimwear that was custom made, she's brilliant and it lasts forever. Actually, she made all of my whole outfit, actually. Just such lovely material she gets from Australia, and it lasts forever. So, Babs, I did that at Heathrow, yeah, and when I stopped, there's a round of applause, all your banding. Oh, that's great. So piriformis is tricky. Babs, do you think it's tricky because of the exercises we've been doing, or is it tricky anyway? No, it's not the exercises, because we're doing some piriformis work today. I know Kaylee is struggling with piriformis. So anyone that's struggling with piriformis, that being one of your butt muscles, I just want you to be really careful with this series. It might be just what you need, but I just want you to be really mindful. So we're going to start by lying down. If you have a nice big cushion, that would be really handy. So, or something, or a towel, or something that you could prop your legs on in a minute. But if you all come down onto your side, I'm going to lie on my left-hand side. If it's comfortable, have your arm under your head. And you can always pop that little cushion in between your arm and your head. And check down at your feet. They should be in line with your bottom. So not up at 90 degrees. Legs are more back at 45 degrees. And then I want you to have a sense of having a little bit of space underneath this side of your waist. So you're not totally collapsing. So just a little bit of lift so that your spine is relatively straight if you look at it from the back. Now, with feet staying together, we're just going to open the top knee. And if you visited the butt and leg workout that we've got in our library, you will have done this exercise. This is called the oyster. And we are starting with 8 of these. So the feet stay together, the hip bones stay actually relatively still, and we're moving from the hip joint. So we're moving the thigh bone within the hip joint. And if you're doing this whole series without ankle weights, you can probably already feel your butt working a little bit. But just that little bit more with the extra weight. So this will be working your piriformis. So I would say anyone with piriformis issues, perhaps just do 8 and then have a rest. Don't do the next variation. Okay, the next variation, we're going to open the knee, extend the leg, so you straighten the leg, bend the leg, and then lower it. So you open it, now keep the thigh still and just straighten your knee. And then keep the thigh still and bend your knee and then lower the leg. So we open, the thigh is turned out and it stays turned out. So your kneecap is trying to still look up to the ceiling. Bend the knee, keep the kneecap up to the ceiling and lower. So piriformis issues, I think this might be just a little bit too much. But go with your gut, go with what feels right. So we open the knee, 1, extend the knee, 2, bend the knee, 3, lower the knee, 4. 3 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure that the pelvis stays relatively still. It shouldn't be rocking back. So lift, extend, bend and lower. Last one, extend, bend and lower. And then just take a moment. So I'm imagining that you're all starting to feel this a little bit. Now the last one, we open the knee, we extend the knee, and now we're going to circle the leg 8 times in each direction, tiny circles, because if they're too big, the pelvis just becomes really unstable. So we'll do about 8 or 10 in one direction, depending on how you feel, and then the same in reverse. Keep breathing, and then we can bend the knee. Wowzers, lower the leg. Let's give the butt a pat this time. Did you feel that? Okay, so fantastic for toning your butt, really fantastic for strengthening your hips. And actually, the stronger this whole area is, the less incidence you'll have of lower back pain and knee pain. So now the cushion is going to go in front of you. You have one. And I want you to rest your top leg on the cushion. So the leg you were just working is going to rest. And then we straighten the other leg. I'm going to move up slightly. So now we're working on the underneath leg. Flex the foot. We lift the underneath leg and then lower it. And then lift and then lower. And lift and lower. Let's try 10 of these. And if possible, as you lower, don't let the leg rest. So it comes down to just about ½ an inch off the floor, but it doesn't totally rest. The foot is flexed, you're pushing through the heel, and your knee is beautifully straight. So see if we can remember the lovely images that we had perhaps on Monday, the goals that we have for our legs. They're long, they're slim, they're strong, toned. Can you imagine that as you're exercising your legs? When you've done about 10, we're continuing, but with a pointed foot. So the toes are stretched and then lift and lower. Toes are stretched, knee is straight. It's also really important that your leg is in parallel. It's not turned out and it's not turned in. Can we have the kneecap literally just looking forwards? This is fantastic to strengthen your inner thighs. So it really helps to give shape to your inner thighs. And it really helps to strengthen the knee. And then when you've done about 10, we're then going to lift with a pointed foot, flex, point, lower. Lift, flex, point, lower. Lift, flex, point, lower. A little bit higher if you can. And lift, flex, stretch, lower. Lift, flex. Fantastic. Notice the rest of your body. Is there any way that it could be just more efficient, more relaxed? Can you relax your neck a little bit more? Can you relax your shoulders a little bit more? Lost count, that feels like it must be 10. Then the very last one, we lift the leg, we're going to flex the foot and pulse for 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit higher. 7, 8, 9, 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, and then rest. Did you feel that? Okay, now coming on to tummies before we do the other side. As always with anything on your tummy, be mindful of your lower back. I'm sure this is fab for your lower back, but just be a bit mindful. Forehead is going to rest on hands, the legs are hip width apart, and the kneecaps are just pointing down. So we're not turned out, we're turned in, just in parallel. Now think of lengthening your leg along the floor. So imagine your leg getting a little bit longer, and then you're going to lift it just a couple of inches off the ground, and then lower it back down. Alternate legs. So we lengthen and lift the leg, and then lower it. Lengthen and lift, and lower. Lengthen and lift. I'm noticing my knees are wanting to bend, so maybe check that out for yourself as well. Can your knee be any straighter? So do you notice that your hip bone presses into the ground a little bit more as you lift the leg? So that's a good thing. We want to try and keep the same hip bone down into the floor. So as you're lifting the left leg, keep the left hip bone down. Can you keep the hip bone down and go a little bit higher with the leg? Just a little bit. Now the next one with the right leg, lift it up and hold it there, and now circle the leg 8 times in each direction. This starts to wake up the very lower back muscles, but it shouldn't feel niggly, it shouldn't feel uncomfortable. You might just feel a little bit of activity. So about 8 or 10 one way, and then the same in reverse. Not too big, keep it all controlled. And then we can lower the leg and do the same on the other side. Lengthen and lift, keep the knees straight. Nice small circles. It's about the size of a tennis ball. That's how big you want the circles to be. Or a small dinner plate at biggest. Fantastic. When you are even, we're going to push back into a rest position, bottom on heels, arms reaching forwards. And then just 5 times rocking forwards and back. So we're going to roll all the way forwards and drop down into a cobra-like position. Lift the eyes up, lift the chin up, and then push all the way back. Coming forwards. And then rocking back. So giving the spine a little bit of love. A little bit of movement, rocking forwards and back. Last couple. Okay, now before we do everything on the other side, we're going to come forwards into a plank. So choose your plank variation. We can either do the full plank if your backs are fine, or you can do the plank on your knees. and we're going to try to hold it for 30 seconds. So, coming forwards onto hands, and you can either just come onto your knees and have your feet off the floor, or you can slide both of your legs out like so. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. Strong arms, strong bones, strong lengthened spine, strong legs. You are strong, you're physically strong, your immune system is strong, you're emotionally strong. We're over halfway there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Rest. Let's do everything on the other side. Getting a bit of sweat on, can you see? Okay. So we have feet back in line with bottom. Arm under head, if that's comfortable for your shoulder. If it's not, you can have your arms out in front of you instead. So your legs are at a 45-degree angle, and I'm just popping this hand on the floor. Open the top knee, close the top knee. So it's very tempting to allow the pelvis to roll back because the knee would go higher. But can you keep the hip bones still? And open the knee to its full range. Open the knee as high as you can without compromising the position of your pelvis. And we're doing 8 of these. So I learned this particular sequence, this oyster sequence. It's a Pilates sequence. And as I first started teaching it, I would always teach breathe out to open, breathe in to close. It's not really how I teach it now, and it's not how I do it. So I just keep breathing naturally and normally. Okay, next one we add the leg extension. So we open the knee, keep the thigh still. You can even place your hand on it to check that it's staying still, and just straighten the knee. Bend the knee and then lower. So we open, so tempting to move the thigh around, but keep it still and just straighten the knee. Bend the knee and then lower. Open, stretch, bend and lower. Open, stretch, bend. Brilliant. 4 more. So definitely a challenge for our muscles, but how normal can this feel in the rest of our body? So we're not only training our glutes and our legs and our bones to get stronger, we're also training integrity in the whole of our body so that we can approach challenges or stress with this kind of efficiency and this integrity within the rest of our body. So you could be having a stressful day, you could be running a marathon, but shoulders are still relaxed, and you're still breathing, you're still able to think clearly. Okay, when you think that was about 8, perhaps give your butt a rub or a pat. And then we're going to finish off this sequence with the leg circles. Okay, so we open the knee without rocking the hip bone back, straighten the leg. So your kneecap is looking up to the ceiling. We circle for 8 or 10 in each direction. Can you circle the leg without moving your pelvis? And then reverse. Okay, bend the knee, lower the leg, ouchie. Now this knee comes all the way up. So this one's at least at a right angle, a 90-degree angle. And then we straighten the underneath leg. And we flex the foot, the knee is straight, the kneecap is looking forwards. Lift the leg, lower the leg. Lift it, Lower it, but don't rest it on the ground. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. So 8 of these, 8 or 10, and then the same with the pointed foot. In fact, I think we did 10 last time, didn't we? So we'll do 10 this time. 10 with a flexed foot, 10 with a pointed foot. Just place your top hand on your lower abs. And if you press in a little bit, can you feel how they're a little bit firm? So without you having to think, right, tighten pelvic floor, zip the tummy in, you don't have to think any of that. Automatically they're firing up. I just want you to have a sense of being aware of that. So you don't need to exaggerate it, you don't need to pull them in anymore, but just acknowledge it. And then after about 10, we stretch the toes, do the same thing with the pointed foot. Check that your knee is really straight. Now, if anybody's knees don't like doing this, perhaps just stop, send me a message, let me know how it feels. So I probably taught this exercise to, I don't know, thousands of people. And there have been, I think, only 2 people. There's a definite one, but I think there was a second person. And it really felt like it aggravated their knee and they felt it the next day. So I'm just always a little bit aware of that. So I'm sure for more than 99% of people, this is totally a brilliant exercise to do for your knees, but just let me know if it doesn't feel quite right. Next one, we lift, flex, stretch, lower, lift, and we're still not resting, so it just hovers off the floor. Lift, flex, stretch, lower, lift, flex, stretch, lovely. How much movement can you find in the ankle? Really flex, really stretch, and then lower. Lift, really flex, really stretch, lower. Just a few more. You're all doing fab. Just imagine how your muscles are responding. They're really happy to be exercised and challenged. It's really nice for the body to have the opportunity to be challenged. You think of all of this potential in our bodies. It's really nice to kind of access that a little bit. That must be 10. It feels quite challenging, this leg. When you've done your 10, the last one is the 20 pulses with a flexed foot. So we lift the leg as high as possible, flex the foot, and then pulse 2, 3, 4. Still breathing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then rest. That was so good. Now we're going to, let me see, I think let's come up to sitting and take weights off. Pick up the Franklin balls. How do your legs feel? So I've got the orange Franklin balls, which I really like using, especially for neck and shoulders. I love the green Franklin balls. It feels like they can get into the muscles a little bit more. So it's really whatever is your preference. So if you've got green ones, they're brilliant as well. And if you've got spiky balls, they're brilliant. We're going to pop the ball underneath one calf muscle and then roll up and down the leg, or up and down the calf, the lower leg. So we're rolling down towards the Achilles tendon and then up towards the back of the knee. And this is great for your circulation. Now you can try turning the leg in a little bit and just see how that feels. Sometimes a bit more tender. Try turning the leg out a little bit. This whole sequence, actually the ball rolling, is such a nice one to do last thing at night. If anybody struggles to sleep or struggles to switch off, this is a lovely thing to do. Really helps the body totally unwind. Okay, now staying on the same leg, we're going to come up towards the bottom. So it's like you're going to sit on the ball, but just on the one side. So I'm still on my right leg. And then I'm going to roll around my pelvis here. So we've done this before, similar when we're lying down. But this can just get into all of the butt muscles a little bit more. So we're going to roll around the sitting bone, back and forth over the sit bone. And then you can roll a bit more to the side. This is really just for you to intuit however you want to move. You can do little circles, diagonal movement. So Babs had a request of doing some piriformis release. So this is definitely a lovely piriformis release. Play around with your leg so you can let the knee drop out to the side and see how that feels if your leg is totally flopped, the one that you're working on. You could also have it in more, so you can have the leg more in parallel and just play around with that position. Just have a bit of a play with what feels beneficial. So knee dropped, knee lifted, or somewhere in between. Or you could do a bit of both. You can just open and close the leg. That feels quite good today for me. So this work is kind of the equivalent of stretching. Something you can do instead of stretching. Okay, now we're going to remove the ball and lie down onto back. Now maybe just take a moment to notice, do my legs feel any different to each other? Even if I actually touch my two legs, it feels like the leg that I massage is a little bit softer. Feels like the muscles are less tense than on the other side, which is quite interesting, quite a nice experience. So staying on the same leg, we're going to lift that leg up and pop the ankle bone on the thigh bone. So just like we would do if we were doing a glute stretch. And then instead of coming straight into the glute stretch, we place the same hand on the knee. I'm doing my right knee and my right hand. And this is particularly to release the piriformis and sciatic pain. So great for any of you that are suffering with anything similar or related. You're going to think of pushing your knee in, and you're thinking of pushing the hand into the knee. So it's this two-way resistance. But I only want you to use maximum 20% of your full effort. So this is not a lot of effort. And we're going to hold it for 10 seconds. So just like 20% of your max effort, which is not a lot. Hold it for 10 seconds and then just release. And do that twice more. So this is an anti-spasm exercise for the sciatic nerve. So particularly Kaylee, Georgina and Alex, when you're watching this one later, this is a good one for you, and Babs watching today. Another 10 seconds and then release. And last one. It feels like it's doing nothing, but it just gets piriformis to activate a little bit and then just fully relax. So it takes it out of spasm. And then if you feel that you want to, we're going to move into glute stretch. So we're holding onto the back of the thigh and pulling the legs a bit closer towards you. Just resting and relaxing for a few slow breaths. Okay, lovely. Lowering the legs. Again, just noticing how does my right leg feel compared to my left. Even the right side of my pelvis, my right lower back, does it feel a bit different? Then we're going to do everything in reverse. So we're just going to pop the other ankle bone on the thigh bone. So for me, that's my left, hand on knee. And we'll do the anti-spasm first. Excuse me. So pressing hand into knee and knee into hand. 20% of max effort for 10 seconds. And then a little release. So this is a great exercise to do. You can do it lying down, you can do it sitting up. So if anybody has sciatica, this is such a good one to remember. No one, not that it matters if people see that you're doing it, but no one can see that you're doing it. You can do it quite discreetly. And last time. And you don't need to be really warm to do it, so you can do it at any time as well. Okay, and then coming into a gentle glute stretch. Lovely. Lowering the two legs, maybe just taking note. Do my legs feel a little bit more even? And then we're going to come up to sitting and pop one of the Franklin balls underneath the calf. Giving the calf a nice massage. So assisting circulation. Good for you runners or dancers, this one. You can try turning the leg in a little bit. And then maybe out a little bit, see how that feels. And then come all the way up to the glute, that side of the pelvis, having a wriggle there. You can try with the knee up, you can try with the knee out, you can try doing a little bit of both. Notice how it feels and see if there's any way that you can improve how it feels. So is there anything you can think of? Can you imagine the muscles being like ice cream on a warm day, so just melting, or being like putty, being really pliable, really gooey, juicy? Lovely. And then we'll remove the ball and come up to standing. Make your way up to standing. And we are going to stand really on our two legs. So of course we're always standing on our legs. But can all of us really have a sense of our two powerful legs being totally underneath us, absolutely underneath us, and really, really supporting us? And just notice, how does it feel emotionally, physically, energetically when your legs are super strong, when they feel toned and they feel worked and they feel like they're underneath you? So for me, it just feels, I don't know, it feels like I feel strong, I feel confident. It feels like there's power with my legs underneath me, my strong legs underneath me. And now just notice, have you got an equal amount of weight through both feet? And it's likely, because of all of the work that we've done, that actually it's probably a little bit more even than perhaps it normally is. But sometimes there are still discrepancies, so see if you can just even that up. So can you have even weight and power through both legs? That feels so nice. So I want you to go about the rest of your day or the rest of your evening with your legs totally underneath you, your strong, powerful legs. And enjoy whatever you've got planned for the rest of the day. And let's keep, thank you so much, let's keep each other posted on these 4 daily commitments. I need to body brush, that's the one I keep missing out. So 4, so what are they? So we've got the body brushing with a dry brush, tapping, so vigorous tapping, or rolling if you fancy doing some ball rolling instead. Just because that's so good for circulation, to break down cellulite, to help to remove toxins. Then what else do we have? So committing to doing some form of leg exercise every day. So whether that's That's it, yeah, goody, thank you. Whether that's watching one of the videos again or just remembering, one of the series. And then the last one was drinking more water, because that also helps with carrying toxins out of the body. So there are 4 daily commitments, even just for this week, because I know it's difficult to commit forever, but just till the end of this week, can we do that every single day? Lovely, thank you so much. Babs, thank you. It's only my right side that's been a little bit out of balance. More rolling, I know. Yeah, we can never do enough rolling. Maybe that could be your daily thing. Instead of the tapping, Babs, could be rolling for you. Thank you all so much. I have treated myself. I'm going to have a hot stones massage now and a Thai foot massage. I just felt so out of kilter. I know. I just felt so out of kilter this last few days. I think it's just Seren having the pox and things. So I just thought, right, I need to have some attention and some love and some time. So I booked in for 2 treatments. I'm just very excited about that. Oh, brilliant. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.